Rain is falling on the soon-to-be departed Alaskan Way viaduct. Operational today, but not for long. Shutting down for good on Friday, 3 days away from the Alaskan Way viaduct shutdown. And we know that means a completely new traffic pattern for a lot of us starting soon. So this morning, we're here to help. We're joined by Madeline Feig, correct? Okay, I want to make sure I got it right. A transportation specialist with Commute Seattle, and they're doing what they can to make this closure workable for all of us, employers, employees. Good to have you this morning, Madeline. I appreciate it. Okay, so tell us about Commute Seattle, what you're doing to try to mitigate this mess for us best you can.
Sure. So Commute Seattle is a public-private partnership between the Downtown Seattle Association and Seattle's transportation agencies. So all year round, we work with employers to help encourage their employees to make smart choices with their commutes. Our goal is to reduce the drive alone rate into downtown, which helps maintain kind of a livable, movable downtown for everybody. So we believe that employers are in a unique position to be able to influence behavior, whether that's through commuter benefits or communications with employees. They really have the ability to influence those decisions that employees make. So our goal all year round is to kind of help support those decisions.
All right. So what are you suggesting specifically for employers and employees over the next 3 weeks?
So when it comes to the viaduct closure specifically and kind of the Seattle squeeze in the long term, we are encouraging folks to avoid the peak travel times wherever possible. And whether that means teleworking, so staying home and working remotely if you can, or flexing your hours to avoid those peak times. It's going to be a lot better for your own sanity as well as kind of the roads in general.
Right. Now, for those of us that need to drive in and out of downtown Seattle, is there a real option for us to avoid the mess?
So like I said, I think avoiding those peak times, if possible, it's great. If you can come in early, grab some coffee before work. If you can stay late after work, enjoy downtown or whatever neighborhood you happen to be in. It's going to be beneficial for you and everybody else. If you do need to drive, we encourage folks to share their trips wherever possible. So taking advantage of some great carpooling apps that we have out there. Just don't drive alone.
Okay, that's fair. Mercer Street, as we all know, is a mess. It is always awful. Are there going to be other choke points as a result of this that we should really be aware of and avoid?
If only if it were that simple. There's not particular choke points that we're going to see. A closure of the viaduct in 2016 showed region-wide impacts. So all the way across the floating bridges to the east side, north and south on I-5, we can pretty much depend on the fact that there's going to be congestion region-wide. Okay. And whether that's, finding a new route to get to work or finding a new commute mode, either way will be beneficial.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question about the other arteries. So I-5 is going to be jam-packed, especially during peak times, right? And so what will be the impact on the other arteries, such as, I-95, 2405?
Well, the answer to that is 90,000 vehicles use the viaduct every day right now. So if all of those people continue to drive or use that mode, we are going to see those vehicles pushed onto other roadways. There aren't particular alternative routes that are suggested because if we give those people, we'll all take that one.
Right.
But generally, we are going to see significant congestion region-wide.
Right. So I'm going to throw one at you, and I know this isn't really your thing per se. You don't have all the answers on this, but we all complain about how bad the traffic is around here, and there are some, every time I post something on social media, people say it seems like officials are trying to make traffic worse. Is that at all accurate?
I do not believe so. Seattle is one of the only cities in America where we've seen a pretty significant population increase, and our drive alone rate has actually gone down. That's, gives me a lot of hope for people's ability to change. We see this as a huge opportunity to capitalize on this media interest in this story. People are worried about this and what it's going to mean for them, and it starts really important conversations about how people get around that they may not otherwise have. Yeah,
there you go. And in 2016, when we saw the viaduct shutdown, we saw a lot of people, increased ridership on Sound Transit, for example, and the West Seattle Ferry. The new tunnel scheduled to open in early February. I mean, heaven forbid that thing gets delayed. But when the tunnel does open, to your point, there's going to be significantly less traffic available to be used on that tunnel because we have less lanes and less the cars will be able to use it. So will this, in some regard, be the new normal for Seattle traffic?
We are going to see several years of construction projects and infrastructure projects that are going to affect our downtown and our ability to get around. And so the conversations we're having right now are not going to stop when the tunnel opens. We're going to keep having those, and they are really important conversations to have as our city continues to grow and people keep moving here every single week. We have to be able to kind of change our behavior in order to allow that to happen.
So, Madeline, if there's one takeaway you really want people to keep in mind during during this time, what would that be?
Well, we still have a couple days. Commute Seattle is providing free consulting services for businesses ahead of the viaduct closure and all the way through. So we are going to be talking to people on the phone every single day, making sure that folks have the information they need to encourage those smart choices in their employees in whatever way that is, whether it's about sending an email or starting a new commuter benefit. We are here to support those folks.
When the tunnel is up and running, what is the biggest change that folks are going to have to get used to in terms of where you get on it, where you get off of it?
Well, the tunnel does not replace the viaduct. They are, two completely separate structures. Some people are going to find that the tunnel works best for them, and some people are going to find that a different route works best for them. And it's going to be about kind of getting comfortable with those different areas. There's a lot of information out there on, if you head to seattle.gov/traffic, there's a lot of information where you can kind of explore those new areas of Seattle, figure out what's going to work best for you. But some of it's just going to be about kind of giving it a test run and seeing what works best.
We are going to be giving it a test run, that is for sure. Madeline Feig, thank you so much. Great to have you. Great information as well. And for more information, you can visit commuteseattle.com/SR99.